What's up everybody, this is Zoya, the Russian Korean. And boy oh boy, have we been seeing some interesting reactions to Seraphine's reveal. As most of you know by now, Seraphine is a new league champion. She is supposed to be a mid-lane mage, but as you have seen in the beginning of the video, the reactions, let's just say overall, have been not so great. Now, the public opinion, of course, it really matters, and we are going to consider it in this video, but you know, for me, I really want to take a look myself. I want to check out the dev article and then the different abilities and whatever has been revealed of Seraphine, and then kind of make my own decision, make my own, I guess, judgment on who Seraphine is and whether I like her or not. So stick around for my personal assessment of the new champion and also my opinion. But before we begin, if you enjoy my content, please consider liking and subscribing and also sharing and commenting my videos. It really helps a lot. And I also stream from time to time, so if you subscribe, then you know, hit the bell button so that you know when I go live. All right, and with that out of the way, let's get into this whole thing going on with Seraphine. Okay, here we are on the League of Legends official homepage. Now, before I really get into this, I do want to say that, you know, angry comments and things like that, they will always be there. They are everywhere, even on the most innocent and best of things. So, you know, angry comments will be there no matter what. It's easy to do them, to write them, and also just to get away without any consequences. So rather than, for me, rather than following the mob mentality, I would like to check this out for myself and then make my own decision. And maybe then also understand the disappointment and I guess the sentiment behind those comments. So that's basically the reason why I'm doing this. Not to diss on anybody or to, you know, hate on something, but just to see what's going on, why are people mad, basically. And so here we are, Champion Insights, Seraphine. I do want to check out, you know, what they have to say about this. So this is the splash art for Seraphine's base skin. So this is what she looks like by default, right off the bat. I mean, I've seen this already. This is not me seeing it for the first time. But right off the bat, you know, they say that she's from Piltover. Honestly, if I look at this, she doesn't look like she's from Piltover. She looks more like a Star Guardian here. It looks more like a Star Guardian skin to me. I don't know. You know, the sparkles, the glitter, and the just the overall design of her dress. At least to me, it looks like that. I mean, I understand also there are like hex deck colors here, but just by looking at this, I don't know. I probably would not have guessed that she's from Piltover. I mean, I'm willing to consider the existence of pop culture, I guess, in Runeterra, but let's just say it's gonna be just a tiny bit of a stretch. But still, I'm willing to consider. Let's keep going. Runeterra's premier idol. Now, I've always had this issue with the word idol. I know that it comes from K-pop and that like K-pop artists are considered, or they're called idols. And like for me, I just like roll my eyes. Ever since it first came out, I've had an issue with the term idol. Because what is an idol? An idol is something that you create for yourself that's kind of like a god for you and you worship it, right? And the issue here is that these people, they just self-proclaim themselves as idols. Like, I'm not worshiping you. I don't really care. You're an artist and it's good, but you don't deserve my worship, you know? Like, anyway, that's my issue with the word idol in general. It's like you are imposing your own kind of like, hey, I'm an idol. You better now call me an idol because I'm an artist. Like, that doesn't make you an idol. But of course, the term has been used in this sense for so long that people are now just throwing it around like, oh yeah, he's an idol, oh yeah, she's an idol, like meaning they are like this K-pop style star, whatnot. And I don't know, I just roll my eyes. That's all I have to say. But let's read this. Seraphine's a one-of-a-kind champ. She's got social media accounts, takes selfies with her cat, and is collaborating with global pop group KDA, except that's not the Seraphine we're here to talk about, all right? The Seraphine we all watched go from bedroom artist to international pop sensation isn't exactly the same one you'll see on the Rift. She's not the KDA champion. That's her real-world persona. Okay, Seraphine's a Piltovan pop star who wants to connect with everyone around her. She's sensitive, tenacious, and supportive, and she wants you to be her biggest fan. Well, she better earn my admiration. But that doesn't explain how we got to this Seraphine. How did she become a Runeterran singing sensation? Who is she really? And how in the world do we have a pop star in League? See, even they realize that it's kind of odd, so they ask themselves the question that everyone else is asking. But let's keep going. The term pop star probably brings up images of huge cultural icons with backup dancers, lights, and packed stadiums. So how does that fit in Runeterra, a world where people use swords, shields, and the occasional semi-internal magazine handgun? There's a pretty wide variety of technology available in Runeterra, so we had a few options to explore for Seraphine, says narrative writer Arela Gelbug Hyde. Or Heidi. But the first pitch in my head was that she was a singer from Piltover and Zon. You know, a singer as a champion, cool, no problem. Zon in particular is a somber place with dark characters, and we hadn't really had a chance to explore the creative and positive elements of that region, which I thought could be really exciting. Piltover and Zon are the hub of technological advancement in Runeterra. We've met the inventors, scientists, and mad scientists of these twin cities. But what about the artists, the musicians? We know who fuels Piltover and Zon's inquisitive minds, but who nourishes their spirits? I guess these are some concept arts for Seraphine. Honestly, some of these look way better, as in like they fit in the Piltover and Zon concept better, in my opinion. I don't know, especially like I like this one. This one could have been nice too. A little bit of a Lux feel though, so I'm not sure about that. Even this one, like having this little butterfly, you know, concept, I think that would have been nice. It was logical that Seraphine come from Piltover and Zon because the level of technology makes them feel semi-related to the real world, says concept artist Anna Newmilky Nikonova. Pop stars feel more like a modern phenomenon to me. I kept thinking of her taking a selfie, and it was really hard to imagine how she'd fit into Runeterra organically. Yeah, so like even from this, you can understand that the creators themselves were having trouble fitting her into Runeterra. I needed to make sure it felt like Seraphine, and her music was born in Piltover and Zon, that it evolved there and she became their pop star. So I needed to understand the type of technology she'd be able to use to make sure it didn't feel too real world. So I guess they had a concept, they wanted to keep going with it, and when they hit the wall with she feels too much like real world because of the concept of the pop star, they still decided to keep going with it and just to adjust the champ, I guess, to try to fit in Runeterra a little better. I think the root of her character development kind of already had some issues starting with the concept, basically because she just doesn't really fit into the world. But let's keep going. Hextech has been a staple in Piltover and Zon for a while. It powers the heart of the region's inventions and old scissor legs Camille's heart, and it enables some level of modernity. It's how Seraphine uses her mic, how she performs for the masses. It's also how the team ensured she had an unique silhouette. I'm not exactly sure what's so unique about her silhouette though. At first, Seraphine just flew around with her mic and some visual effects, but we encountered a problem we'd run into a lot, which is making sure new champs look as physically different as possible from other champs, New Milky explains. Then we came up with the idea of the platform, which was really cool. The animators could make her dance and do fun cast animations because she doesn't have to keep her feet on the ground. Venue check, stage prep check, technology check. Now it was time to add some lyrics to her story. I understand, I guess, here the thought. Actually, no, I don't. This stage looks a little bit like DJ Sona's turntable, or is it just me? I don't know. I really wanted Seraphine to be deeply empathetic, shares Gelbug. From the beginning, we were trying to figure out a way for her to be unique in the League roster and also as a performer. Pop stars tend to be larger than life and unapproachable, but we didn't want that for Seraphine, so we decided to amplify her empathy and make it so she could feel other people's emotions in the form of music. Like, I understand and I actually like, you know, the concept of an empathetic singer, entertainer who is really relatable, who's part of the people, but just the two words here, pop star, okay? That is what is hard to fit in. Like, let's say we just take like a performer even in Piltover, right? Considering, like, yeah, they have really high developed technology. And so, yeah, some girl from Piltover just has this musical talent, starts performing on the street, and then she gets, you know, a following, and she's part of the people, and they love her, but she also is, you know, just like part of the community. I think that could have worked, but I think they were trying to fit that pop star in there somehow, and like, I'm not exactly sure why. Not only can Seraphine hear the emotions of the people around her, she can hear them from another source as well. Most Piltovers are unaware, but Hextech relies on crystals that have Brackern souls, reads Skarner's family within them. Ah, this is what the whole meme thing is about that I've seen. Says narrative writer Daniel Istogaiden Coates. Why are these names so hard to read? There are some heavy implications to this, but Seraphine's the first person who can hear the Brackern in these crystals. Song is important to the Brackern, and that song continues from their crystals. She connects with one in particular, losing herself in its song, and in the process, learning to handle her power. So we're getting now into her special power, right? Because from before that, all we got of her is that she's a singer, and that's pretty much it. But now she has this super power, I guess, to hear these Brackern souls from the crystals, right? And it all has to do with Skarner. Now, I'm not very familiar with Skarner's lore because I haven't really explored it. But from what I understand, the whole crystal souls thing, the souls that are in the crystals didn't really have the choice to be trapped in there, so I'm not exactly sure. Like, I guess she can somehow hear them, so she uses them to make her own music. I guess that's what's happening here. Seraphine spent her life surrounded by a constant barrage of songs from both the citizens of Piltover and Zaun, and from the souls trapped around her. She may not be able to save them, but that doesn't mean she doesn't care for them, or for her fellow citizens. She wants to connect with others and elevate them so deeply, so she learns to do it the only way she knows how. Music. She takes the deluge of song, both tormented and joyous, and turns it into something meaningful, something beautiful, something that makes sense to her, and gives it back to everyone around her. There's a magical moment where you're in a crowd at a concert and you lock eyes with the singer. It feels so rapturous, like they're singing just for you. It's something I thought about a lot because Seraphine, or Seraphine, literally does that, says Istogaiden. She can hear your soul's song and sing it back to you in a way that other artists can't. It's something really beautiful. Okay, here's what I have to say. I'm not a professional content writer, okay? And I am not part of Riot's creative team or anyone's creative team for that matter. But from what I know of writing, which I studied and also taught, is that if there's a message that you want to convey to your audience through a creation, you need to make sure that when you create whatever you're doing, you need to be able to look at it from the audience's point of view and say, will I be able to get that feeling from this? Will I be able to understand that message? Or is it just going to escape me? Is it not going to, is it not going to translate into that? And if it doesn't happen, then you need to rework it, add something that would really convey that, or maybe rethink how you are going to try to, I guess, deliver that message to the people. The reason why I'm saying this is because they keep talking about her being like empathetic, doing something beautiful. She may not be able to save them, but that doesn't mean she doesn't care for them or for her fellow citizens. Like, okay, there are lots of things that they're telling us about the character that, like, just by looking at her design, how she postures herself with these people and stuff, like, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if she truly cares. I wouldn't know if she's just using these crystals for her own popularity to make her own music happen, or if she truly cares about the Brackern. Like, there is nothing in, I guess, her design and how she looks like that would give me that feeling, I guess. Okay, let's keep going. Music and action. All of this talk about emotions and music is good in theory, but let's not forget that League's a game. Yeah. She may be bringing people together in Runeterra, but how can the power of music unite your challenger teammates on the Rift? I was working on Seraphine at a time where I thought everyone hated each other when they played League. recall senior games designer Jivon Jagsidu. Like, that's what I meant about the names. The names just get more difficult and more difficult. It seemed like people resented that League was a team game. I'd see posts on social media from players who hated having to play with their teammates. I really wanted Seraphine's design to almost try to tackle that problem. I really wanted players who played Seraphine or played with Seraphine to remember that team games are fun and that everyone likes playing with friends. Okay, I'll hold off on my comment until I finish this section. Seraphine's kit encourages players to group up around Seraphine and play together. Okay. Okay. Her passive modifies her basic spells, providing increased damage, unique buffs, and the occasional heal. And it only gets better as more people join her entourage. I wanted Seraphine's abilities to feel like a way she could share the stage, and her W, surround sound, does that perfectly. It's an AoE movement speed buff and shield, but when paired with her passive, it changes entirely, Jack explains. If Seraphine already has a shield on her, then she heals herself and her allies, and they'll heal themselves and each other. So that means the more people you have in the spell, the more benefit everyone gets. But that's not the only way Seraphine encourages her teammates. Her ultimate Encore gives her the chance to hype up her abilities and grants her a moment to be performative. Mages are fun to design because their ults get to be really flashy. Think Cardus or Orianna ult. And Seraphine is a pop star. Hers needs to be even more of a big moment, says Jag. She takes this big breath, sings out a really loud high note, and shoots out an AoE charm. Enemies take damage and walk towards her, but the cool thing about this spell is that it extends anytime it hits a champion, even allies. There's a moment in every engaged champ's life when they Zenith Blade in too deep or go for the perfect my mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yeah, Lee Sin dash, only to realize their team can't catch up. But that won't be the case with Seraphine on your team. She lives for the moment when she takes center stage, hits her high note, and sends her ult through that too deep teammate to land the perfect 5-person charm. It's the ultimate moment of cooperation and teamwork. It's Seraphine's perfect show. With their supportive gameplay locked, all that was left was to give this pop star some tunes. So, let's start here. The game designers comment on people hating the fact that this is a team effort. Creating a champion that will basically take the reins and make other players follow their lead is not going to solve team game, I guess, resentment here. Because with this concept, I feel like there's a dilemma, right? On the one hand, you want people to cooperate and to be teammates. On the other hand, you want to have this champion as the leader, the one who takes center stage. I mean, they said, like, there's a teammate who's too deep in or whatever. What did they say? Yeah, and sends her all through that too deep teammate to land the perfect 5-person charm. So, like, what I'm trying to say is whoever is playing this champ is going to dictate what's happening. And when you are in a solo queue environment, I understand if you're like in a pre-made and stuff, that may be fun. But if you are in a solo queue environment and you believe that call was bad, okay, that's just gonna ruin it for everybody. And like the fact that you become also part of it without you wanting to be part of it, I'm just not exactly sure how that's supposed to improve the teamwork mentality, I guess, in the game. The root issue, like he says, I was working on Seraphine at a time where I thought everyone hated each other when they played League. Like, okay, the reason why that is happening is because of the gaming culture. And what needs to change is not a champion that's going to lead everybody else into a team fight, but tackling the root of the problem, which is people's attitude when they play games, and also just I guess the online culture in general, where you're basically anonymous and will kind of get away with anything without any consequences most of the time. Personally, I think that there are a lot of, I would say, not very good role models out there who are kind of displaying that toxic behavior as they are playing and kind of teaching younger generations to do the same thing. If we start with that, I think that might improve a little bit the culture, right? Just kind of talk about how, okay, let's start with personal assessment, right? It's always easy to blame somebody else, but what needs to happen is for people to be able to be more self-reflective rather than just shifting blame always on other people. But this video is not about that. I'm just saying, like, I don't think the existence of a champion like Seraphine is going to really, like, solve the issue. Okay, we're going to skip a little bit of this very long article and just get down here. So Ryerson went full producer on Seraphine's raw vocal clips using a variety of plugins to edit the recordings into the base building blocks of her sound effects. Then, to give players even more incentive to group around Seraphine, Ryerson created a music system so players know when they're in range to get maximum benefits. Okay, so actually I haven't seen this, so let's check it out. Okay, Seraphine point of view. Seraphine passive music. Passive music is only audible when near allied champions. If you can hear her music at full frequency, then you are in range of her passive. They need to hire, like hire me, okay? I will edit all your typos. If an ally leaves or dies, the music will turn off. What if you don't like the music? Music actually is not too terrible. Ally point of view. Okay, so you can't hear it. Same goes for the ally perspective. Your champion must be near Seraphine to hear her music. If Seraphine leaves or dies, the music will turn off. Okay. This music system is only for Seraphine and her allies. Enemy champions do not hear her music system. Okay, and that's it. So one thing already I can note is that, like, for me, it's going to be a little difficult to recognize the passive because, like, I like to listen to my own music when I play. And if I have to hear the passive, then that might be a little problematic because it's gonna interfere with the music in my ears already. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have my music really loud either, but still, I have the league like background music turned off anyway. So I don't know. The music itself actually doesn't sound terrible. I know people have been writing comments about how it's annoying and this and that. Like, I mean, if you don't like this kind of style of music, I can understand why you would think that it's annoying. But I mean, it's really not that terrible. Like, I feel like people make it sound worse than it actually is. But it's not that bad. But it's just the fact that, like, you kind of have to hear it. Making a passive an audible thing, that's what makes it a little bit difficult because, like, what if you are just, like, playing without any sound because, I don't know, for whatever reason, then the passive here becomes a little difficult to keep track of. All right, let's read the conclusion here. Seraphine sings to the soul and she only wants one thing, and it's adorable. Seraphine just wants everyone to know that she loves them. New Milky smiles. Weird, Istoguide and adds, I was thinking that too. Same, Gelbuck laughs. So was I, says Jag. I guess that means we're her first fans. All right. Sure. Sure. Once again, the whole idea of an idol, a performer, a pop star, only wanting to know that she loves you, like, I don't know. But okay, that was the dev article about Seraphine. I think it gave me a pretty good picture of, like, the concept behind her. Let me actually see. They probably already have her bio on the universe page. Let me just check. Yeah, Seraphine, the starry-eyed songstress. So how about we read biography? Related champion is Skarner. Okay, so she just has a bio here.
A few moments later.
So I just read this. And I mean, I didn't really get too much new information from here. It's just basically what we read from the dev article, but more in a narrative form. Parents were helping her, blah blah blah, but she had this thing that was dampening her magical hearing. But then after she realized that, oh, what I need is to like amplify my sound, so they changed her stage into this thing that amplifies her, and then she sings with the help of these crystals with these Bracken souls in them that sing of ancient times and stuff like that. And her goal now apparently is to unite Zon and Piltover. So yeah, that's basically the story. So since the story didn't really give us too much new information, I do want to go into her abilities and just check those out and see what they are. And here we are, skin spotlights, Seraphine ability reveal, new champion. Let's take a look. Passive. Okay, another paragraph of a passive, but let's check it out. Every third basic ability Seraphine casts will echo, automatically casting a second time. Additionally, whenever she casts an ability nearby an ally, she will create a note. Each note gives her basic attacks more attack range and deal additional magic damage, consuming the note. That sounds a little bit like Zoe's passive with her basic attacks and stuff, but the casting of the thing twice is a little different. Okay. So these are the sounds that we hear as she casts. I hear the voice. Okay. Q. High note. Seraphine projects a pure note dealing magic damage that's increased by the target's missing health percentage. Okay, there's a skill shot. W. Surround sound. She has this expression. Seraphine surrounds her nearby allies in a song, granting herself and her allies movement speed and a shield. That sounds like Sona. If Seraphine is already shielded, she can heal her nearby allies, restoring health based on how many allies are near her. Are they trying to make her like double as a support as well? Like a mage support? I gotta say, the whole stuff is getting a little old. E. Beat drop. Seraphine unleashes a heavy sound wave, dealing magic damage to enemies in the line and slowing them. Enemies that are already slowed are rooted, and already rooted enemies are stunned. And encore. R. Seraphine takes the stage, projecting a captivating force that charms enemies and deals magic damage. That's what we were reading about in the article. Any champion struck, allies included, become part of the performance, extending the range of the ability and granting allies maximum notes. I mean, I guess it's pretty nice crowd control. That's it. Okay. And these are her skins, guys. And this is the KDA one. But the thing with the skins, guys, you would think that she's being released with like 3 different skins. But she's not being released with 3 different skins, and this is one of the controversies. It is that she's being released with her first skin, which is an ultimate skin. Okay, it's an ultimate skin and a quest skin. So when you purchase this ultimate skin, you're gonna start out like this. Okay, it's like the indie Seraphine, and then you complete a certain number of quests, whatever, and then you switch into this, I think it's called like a Rising Star or something. So this is going to be her second form, and then you complete more quests, more missions, and then bam, you get the final form, which is the KDA. I guess, Seraphine. I do want to check out her voice lines as well before I get into, you know, just the discussion of everything. Just to hear how she sounds. Like, this video is like 8 minutes long. I don't want to watch the whole thing, but I'll just peek.
You're all breathtaking. Was that my first hater? Azir, let me try. Shurima. Aw, Caitlin, it sounds like your gun likes you. Camille, sorry, but you're the only one marching to your drum. No one keeps time like you, Echo. Such a perfect 4/4.
Okay, there is like this like resonance here, right? The echo.
Also so wrong. Whoa, I can't follow your song at all, and I love it.
I don't know if it's just me, but it sounds just slightly annoying. I don't know. It sounds a little bit annoying. Like, I love it. Like, I'm not sure. Like, you know how people say Zoe's annoying in her voice lines and stuff? Zoe actually, because she sounds like a kid, and it kind of sounds, you know, playful and a little bit also like she actually is intended to be annoying. Like, okay, that's fine. But I don't think this is intended to be annoying, but it is for some reason. Like, I don't know, the pitch, the reverb here.
Lux, your song sounds like a rainbow. Wow, you sing in such color, Nico. I miss your kind too, Skarner. Would you like to hear their song? Oh, Sona, your song is so... wow.
Okay, I think we've heard enough of the voice lines. Gotta clear my throat before I really start dishing out my opinion here. Okay, so now that we've checked out the dev article, we looked at her abilities, and we checked out her voice lines and also looked at her bio, what can I say? What's my take on this champion? First of all, personally, I think it's not as bad as people say. But I do understand where the disappointment is coming from. Because looking at her abilities and even what she looks like, you know, it does seem rather, I don't know, unoriginal, especially with the hype behind her, you know, like I liked her covers, right, of KDA and then Childhood Dreams, and I thought, wow, well, it's gonna be pretty interesting. I kind of wonder what kind of champion they're gonna make out of her. I really don't know how it's gonna work, but it makes me excited to see how they're going to make it work. And when this came out, and now that I've looked at it, I'm not exactly sure if it lives up to the expectation. It's a little bit underwhelming, and especially how she fits in Runeterra. Like, that was my initial question. Like, how would they make Seraphine, like, actually fit in Runeterra? I'm sure this whole LA personality is not going to be, you know, her base concept. There has to be some other way that they're going to fit her in. And, I mean, I can see how they tried, but personally, I just think the root of the problem, the issue, was with the pop star concept. That's just my opinion. And after looking at her abilities, she doesn't really seem like my kind of champ, but I'm willing to try her out maybe on the PBU or something. But, you know, the prospects of playing against a champion who is like this overpowered Sona that just has kind of annoying noises and voice lines, it's, you know, can't wait. And let's talk about the thing that everyone is upset about, which is the granting of the ultimate skin, of an ultimate skin, to a champion who has not even been released yet. I really don't know why they did it. I don't understand. I personally thought that ultimate skins are granted to, like, dearly beloved champs. You know, of course, so many people play Lux, so many people play Misfortune, so many people play Ezreal and Sona and even Udyr, okay? But this, I'm not really sure. I think personally that the outrage over Seraphine would have been way less if she just got like a skin, okay? Like let's say like the indie skin, like, or even the Rising Star, or even the KDA skin. If she got just one skin, I'm sure the outrage would not have been as bad. But because she got an ultimate skin, which is the highest tier of skins, also the most expensive one, and it only is going to have 3 different forms, whereas Luxus has like 10 or something, I don't know exactly what they were thinking. If they thought that, wow, like Seraphine's gonna be so popular that like somehow they're gonna sell so many of those skins. Like, honestly, that skin doesn't even look that great. You can see the preview of the skin on Instagram, by the way, and like it's also, I guess the best word I can say is underwhelming. And then I thought that they were going to release like Elderwood Ornn. Is that what there was a video, behavioral systems update or something like that, and I think they showed like a little picture of an orange skin, and I thought, oh, an orange, and not finally a second orange skin is coming into the game, and we haven't seen it yet. So I think I think it's a meme by now. And yeah, I understand that, you know, worlds are happening right now, busy time for Riot, and I think it's all the more reason maybe to hold off on releasing ultimate skins on non-released champs, and just, you know, just maybe work on something that people have been requesting for a while. Again, I don't really know. So with the skin, I personally think it's a bit of an overkill. If it were just a regular skin, you know, it's fine. But because it's an ultimate skin for a non-released champ yet, like, I don't know. So let's make some sort of a conclusion here. Just hating and going with the mob mentality, you know, isn't really going to do anything. It'll just be dismissed, and your voice basically won't be heard anyway. However, constructive criticism is good and necessary. Fans aren't expected to just approve of everything that Riot releases and does. I mean, after all, they wouldn't even exist if they didn't have people playing their game. But as far as I can tell, something is happening at Riot which I guess we don't get to see. But it seems to be driving their creative department further and further away from their core fan base. The fact that they worked on and released a champion that the overwhelming majority of League fans do not like and see as unoriginal is proof that there's some sort of disconnect. Something's off. Of course, they can either learn from it and respond to their fans' biggest requests, such as an actual orange skin. And I mean, it doesn't even have to be an ultimate one, okay? Just a skin. Or things like quality of life improvements and fixing client issues. Granted, I don't think anyone expects them to please absolutely everyone. We should understand that there are actual people behind the company, and, well, sometimes we don't get to hear their voices. Who knows? Maybe worst case scenario, they got some instructions from the higher-ups who care more about profit than about the game. And creative team just has to follow those orders. In truth, we don't know what's happening at Riot. That's just what comes when, you know, you grow from a little company into a big one, into a huge corporation. The true reasoning behind Seraphine may just remain a mystery to us, and, you know, we can only speculate. But in the meantime, I don't think Seraphine's release is cause enough to quit the game. I mean, if you truly don't like her, then don't play her and don't buy her skin. It's like simple as that. Angry comments may never actually reach or affect a Riot, but, you know, lack of profit sometimes speaks louder than words. As for me, I'll probably give her a try on a PvE just to see what it's like, how she works. But honestly, from what I'm seeing, it doesn't really look like my style of champion. It doesn't really look quite something that I kind of resonate with, no pun intended. So I'll give her a try, but most likely I probably won't end up playing her. And that's really all I have to say about Seraphine. But how about you guys? What do you think? What's your opinion? What's your take on Seraphine and her concept, on her release, on the ultimate skin, and, you know, everything around it? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. This was Zoya, the Russian Korean. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.